Welcome back to the best show on YouTube, the Unplug Podcast. Love that. What does that one say?
That was cold. Still, I like that. I couldn't have done that any better myself. I'm going to start this week with, how are you, bro?
I can't lie.
Be honest. Keep it real.
It's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good, bro. I can't lie. I've been going through it, bro. I've had a cough for like 1 month.
I know.
I've like been on holidays and not even been able to enjoy the holiday. Like the business, like things that just were meant to be going right or going left. Staff is leaving me. Like, yeah, bro. Like it's I'm still surprised that, I still got my hairline or what's left of it, man. I might have to go turkey. But yeah, it's not been easy, bro. Like, but we thank God that we're still here. But
amen.
Again, it's just, we talk about it a lot. It's just kind of them days that you just have to have them battles for yourself. Even this morning, bro, like coming to the gym, I told you, struggle. I was fighting demons to wake up. But
you
again,
made it, bro.
You know what I mean?
You got there before me. I was I almost fell down when I saw you at this gym class before me.
You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. So yeah, man, it was a bit of a struggle. It's been a bit of a struggle for the last couple of weeks, but I'm just trying to plow through. Like, it's not easy. I feel like everyone always kind of like creates this content like, everything's rosy dozy and I'm perfect, but like, it was a struggle, but we push through. Yeah, like
always,
we
always, man.
What about you, my bro?
Yeah, similar. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's like the change in weather and temperature when it gets cold and you just kind of fall into a bit of a like slump, I guess. And similar to you, I'm not ill. I was ill, but I've overcome the illness. But I feel like I've struggled since getting back from holiday. Like I think you said to me, when you're on holiday, you're great, you're in the sun, you're feeling amazing. And then you get back and like to just normality.
Yeah.
And I feel for me, because my life is so busy, I'm jumping into a car at 130 miles per hour. There is no 20 miles per hour zones in my life. Do you know what I mean? So it takes me a while to acclimatize. And I think at first, I kind of rejected it, didn't want to believe it. I'm booking classes at the gym, just not even turning up to these classes. Because now I'm just feeling rough, So yeah, just this week particularly has been kind of like bounce back mode. Like did 3 classes in the gym, did a blaze class, did a spin, we did battle box this morning. And I'm not going to lie, man, I feel so much better for it.
No, you will.
So that's...
It's not an easy one, man.
It's not an easy one.
It's not an easy one.
Like we said, we push through. We're here.
Exactly.
We're here.
Exactly.
Episode 7.
Number 7. Numero. What's 7 in Spanish?
I don't know.
Siete?
In French is sept.
Set.
Yeah, I'm a French man still.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
What's 8?
What's 8?
Yeah.
We.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
It's not yes.
Nah, man. We is yes. We. Okay, bon.
We'll have to edit that out, make me look dumb. Ready? All right, cool. Guys, bad boy of an episode. But first, before I get into that, I've got a bone to pick with all of you. JP, what's my bone? As you drink your Stanley.
Yes, as I drink from my Stanley. If you want to sponsor the show, hit us up.
Shout me.
Yeah, the bone is that people are watching. People are getting all the juice, all the sauce.
All the value.
Taking certain information and running with it and bettering their life. That's all great.
Can you imagine?
You know who you are.
Rude.
But you're not subscribing.
So offensive.
You're not commenting.
What?
You're not following us on IG.
Impossible.
You're not following us on TikTok.
Disrespectful.
You're not even following us on Spotify or Apple or... Where's the love?
You should be disciplined. But
did I hit the nail on the head?
Man. You did. But obviously, we're forgiving people. We're caring people. So we're giving you an opportunity to redeem yourself and click that subscribe button, click that like button, and drop a flipping comment, guys. Because like JP said, we're dropping you guys some serious gems. Bad boy value, right? So just reciprocate.
Always.
I'm just asking for a little like and subscribe.
Just a
it
little
helps
piece.
the algorithm. And obviously, you guys have seen the value. So sharing is caring, right? So let's share the world of the Unplug value to the rest of the world, yeah?
Pastor Freeman at his best.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
But cool. But on a more positive note, today's episode.
Yes.
Today's episode, the title is, What is Your Why? Now, that sounds quite vague. in itself. And we could swap out why for purpose, right? And I feel like it's very important, and I've been on this journey of discovery of finding my why as well, as of massive importance, you know, and I feel like finding your why and your purpose and your meaning is massively important to like just fueling you to wake up and to just basically live in this miserable world that we live in. Because it's not great. You know what I mean? It's not great. It's nothing special. You know, it's not something that we should be like excited about or anything in that regards in terms of, you know, all the war, COVID-19, all this and that.
Petrol prices going up.
Do you see what I'm saying? So like, what is your why? What is your purpose? Like, what is your reason for still actually living? You know what I mean? And for me personally, I feel like if you don't have a why,
you're a zombie. Just
might as well be.
Yeah, might as well be.
Might as well be. So yeah, let's kick it. Let's get into it. What is your why, my bro?
What is my why? My why is I'd probably say number one, my kids. They're definitely my why.
Why
are they my why?
Yeah.
Ultimately, I've put them on this earth, and I feel I have a duty to ensure that they have everything they need to become the best version of themselves. So for me, I've always strived to want to give them a better life, give them the things that maybe I didn't have, which I'm not going to sit here and go like I didn't have anything growing up, because I did. Shout out to my parents.
Shout out, mumsy.
But and dad, because dad gets vexed when I don't mention him in conversations. So shout out to dad as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just giving them what they need and just allowing, like I said, them to be their best version, and just having them be able to look back and say, you know, my dad was able to give me the best possible life I could have. Like, for me, that's a beautiful thing, you know. And I think that's something that we should all try and strive for. If you have kids, you want to be able to give your child everything you didn't have, right? I know my parents did that for me, and maybe that's kind of, you know, taken on as well without even knowing it. So yeah, my why, my family, just, yeah. And I think my biggest why is myself, because I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let myself down. And you know, we all go through, you know, ups and downs. I've definitely gone through some negatives where I was letting myself down. And I feel like maybe at the time my why wasn't strong enough. And I just feel like recently I've started paying attention to my whys. And they're the ones that have kind of kept me laser focused. They're the ones that have got me up in the morning. They're the ones at times when I don't even want to do this business anymore. Yeah. I'm like continuing, you know, waking up and just, yeah, go time, man. So
no, I love
quite a deep one there. But
with that, just sort of going back on the why, would you say that that's been your why since, you know, you had your first one, or was that like a recent why?
No.
And have you had other whys?
Yeah, the more kids I've had, I've definitely had to like increase that why. But I think just, yeah, we spoke about it during episode 4, I think it was the addiction episode, where, you know, for me at the time, gambling was an addiction, and it definitely held me back. And I think it held me back because I didn't have a why. And I think the moment I found my why, which was kind of, you know, obviously the kids, like I mentioned, and the family and that, but just my why was, I want to be a successful entrepreneur, you know, and I think the why wasn't strong enough back then, because if it was, I wouldn't have been wasting time doing silly things, right?
Yeah, no, of course.
So, yeah.
No, man, I love that. No, I love that.
Yeah, man. What about yourself? Talk to me about your why, what it means to you.
Yeah.
Maybe some of your whys.
I think my why is, my current why is my current why is newly found. I only recently found my why. So as always, and I was just saying in the pod, we always say like sort of like flock yourself around similar people that you want to be in. So like recently, in the last couple of months, I invested in a mentor, and this gentleman, he is, you know, sort of leaps and bounds ahead of me, which is what you ideally want in a mentor. Someone 100%. That's done everything done, from property to business to life to family. Like he's an epitome.
Has the answers that you need.
Literally, you know what I mean? And like, honestly, like being like transparent, like he brought out, almost like, it was so therapeutic, like he brought out so much out of me that I was like harboring, that I literally started crying. Like, we was literally, yeah, bro, it was so deep. Like, we was in David Lloyd, I'll never forget, it was David Lloyd and Twickenham, and he was literally just asking me, like, he said so little. He literally just asked me questions like, from him, like, what is your purpose? Like, why are you doing this? And I was giving him very, like, super vicious answers and like materialistic answers and to get money and to this. Like, from like, what is it? Your why? And I just started stuttering. And then once we broke it down, I literally just started bawling. And then, but it was like a cry of relief because I just felt like I was just holding this kind of like superficial burden. Like, my life was great, and on paper I'm doing everything that I need and I should be doing, but I wasn't really fulfilling my why and doing what I think I should be doing. It's like throughout my years, also I'm still fairly young. I thought my why was just to simply make money. I thought my why was to simply just be in business. I thought my why was to, get my first property. And then when I checked all of those boxes, I got my house, bought my house, set up my business, started getting involved in property, I wasn't necessarily fulfilled.
Yeah, you wasn't feeling
what I mean?
Happy.
Yeah, it was like a momentary moment of like satisfaction. And it just sort of quickly withered away, and I just started creating like new like crazy targets and etc. And I just didn't necessarily feel fulfilled, right? It didn't necessarily motivate me within reason to like wake up. It's like, again, it's almost like a job, right? So recently, he gave me an insight into the philosophy of Ikigai. And Ikigai, for those who don't know, it's a Japanese philosophy, way of mind and mindset, and it's basically meaning like it translates to like reason to live, effectively your purpose, or as on the pod today, your why,
your Ikigai.
And for me, it's a combination of something that brings you joy, peace, happiness, prosperity, enthusiasm, and can also potentially remunerate you, whether that be from forms of self-care, whether that be monetarily, whether it be like from the time relief that you get from being able to do it, wherever it may be. It's your why, right? And it motivates you. And through my conversation with him, I found out that my Ikigai right now is I genuinely find joy in like teaching and educating people and allowing them to acquire an asset in knowledge to become financially free.
Nice.
And to build an asset where they can buy back their time and they can do whatever the hell they want to do.
I've got two questions for you. So the first question is,
Gone.
Where does that passion and just, like what you just said, you educating people and helping them build an asset in their mind, where do you think that stems from?
I think it stemmed from the lack or inability to experience it myself.
Okay.
And I've always naturally been of like a very like given person. Like when I was in school, in primary school, my dad always used to be like, he's not eating, he's coming back home, he's mad hungry. He's coming back. We're giving him lunch, etc. Pack his lunchbox with jollof rice and meat. This guy is still hungry. You know what I mean? And then unbeknownst to me, they report that to my teacher. And then my teacher then report back to my parents that what Freeman is actually doing is giving his lunch away to kids that don't have food. So like that's always been like
helping others and
helping other people in some form of capacity. And I feel like that's like a mutual thing that we both have. Like we always say like we give a lot. We give our everything to everyone. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes people
it's to our detriment.
Sometimes, you know what I mean? People take advantage of that, unfortunately. But let's not get into that. But like that's always been sort of like fundamental foundation, like baseline of me. Always giving. And when I got into the space of property and business entrepreneurship, I thought there were very, very few people that were willing to sort of give open hands.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Everyone's kind of out for themselves.
And it was very transactional. And so right now I'm kind of on this journey of trying to give as much value as I can in the hopes that people can take action, right? And that's another thing of why we obviously set up this podcast to unplug from people's perspectives and societal norms and take action, right?
100%.
And change their lives. Because if you now have the knowledge and you're willing to take that action, the world's your oyster now. So from there, I found my Ikigai. I found my purpose that I enjoy teaching people about different forms and strategies of business and helping them grow, especially, my niches and, short-term rentals in property specifically. And from that, I found massive joy to the point like where I have some of my clients, some of my mentees, we're scheduled for half an hour, 45 minutes, and I'm on the phone for 2 hours. I'm like, oh, Freeman, like, I'll bill you back extra. I'm like, no worry, like, I literally just love talking to you.
You're in your element now.
You know what I mean? I'm just in my flow right now. And I find so much joy, and it doesn't feel draining. It doesn't feel time consuming. And obviously it pays me because obviously I need to be remunerated for my time.
Of course. But you're passionate about it.
If there was to be anything I could do for the rest of my life right now, that's what I'd do.
There's a thing they say that, if you're trying to think about what it is you want to do and what you're passionate about, think about something that you would do for free.
Yeah.
Like naturally.
Yeah, literally.
And it's interesting you say that because I'm quite similar in the sense that I think I spoke about it in episode 1. I love learning, but I also like elevating people as well.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, what's the point of having all this knowledge if you can't share it and uplift other people, right? So you naturally want to be an educator. You just feel safe in that space. You feel passionate and you're helping other people. Like there can't be a better feeling than helping somebody else.
Literally.
Like, what else can be better than that, right? So, and then, sorry, my second question, because I know everyone's going to want to know why.
Yeah.
What is it that made you cry? Gotcha.
Got me. What made me cry was the realization that I created a false reality and concept of my life.
Okay.
That I was doing well.
Okay.
And on paper, I've got a successful business, and like I said, I bought my house. But like, I wasn't happy. I wasn't giving my friends, family, and my relationship the time that I needed. I was constantly being drained, overworking myself. And as you know, like, I didn't have my first holiday until I was like 22. Like my first trip away like that, I felt like I deserved, by myself, like my first ever solo trip. Like I've always worked on myself like very, very hard. And I just sort of created this false narrative of my life that like everything's well, I bought my house, it's doing this and etc. Like I was taking all these goals where I wanted my business to be going because I thought this is what it would look like. And again, we speak about a lot vanity metrics. You know what I mean? And I felt like for a period, like my whole life was just focused on vanity metrics. I felt like it was nice to say like I had dozens of properties in this location and that location, but how much money was it making me? How much
of a realization for you?
So I'm saying like it was a serious epiphany moment, and it was like, oh my days, I'm not actually doing well as I thought I was. You know what I mean? And it literally just brought me to tears, like flip, like it was like, is this what I've been doing?
You kind of been living like, I'm not even on a fake life, but just
like a false reality.
Yeah, a false reality.
I was in dreamland.
Looking for. Yeah.
I was in dreamland. I was like, I left my job for this. I had a really good job. I left my job for this. Like I told my family I was going to do this, and I've told so many people I'm going to do that. Do I need to start over? Do I need to go back into work? Do I need to find a job? Like, what am I going to do? But again, obviously because he's experienced and he's lived and he's done this, like he sort of calmed me down. Like he embraced me. He gave me a hug and calmed me down. I was like, Freeman, like don't worry. Like this is all part, and it's like, you're young. You can do this, and even almost like irrespective of my age, like it's fine to have do-overs.
100%.
So long as you do them over.
Yeah. That's the key, is to do them over, man.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that was like really thing. And I don't cry often, like obviously, but like when people die and whatnot, I don't cry often, but like for me to cry like that, like I had like and afterwards I had like a panic attack in my car.
Them ones.
You know what I mean?
Something just took over you.
Literally. Yeah. Like hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I can laugh about it now.
He touched
a
real nerve
in
there.
A nerve that I just didn't know. And then as soon as the whole ordeal went and all the emotions went past, like there was just like you like that word, it was like just a state of flow.
Yes.
State of flow.
Yeah, just clarity. Concise. You can kind of see things that you never saw before.
Honestly. It's like, we say, that movie with Bradley Cooper?
Yes, Limitless.
I literally thought like I popped the pill and I was just like 10 steps ahead, bro. Like everything was just moving and like so fast, but I was in slow motion. Like I was just like in my state of flow.
But I think, I think what he was able to do is probably just allow you to open up your mind. Like, like every day, because we get up, we go, and we never really stop to reflect on what's actually going on. And the moment you sit down and reflect, it gives you like a real sense of what's actually going on, a realization of everything around you. So
100%.
No, that's So who is this guy? I might need his I might need his number.
Keep that one. But Robbie, I appreciate you, man. No, he watches the pod.
Nice, Robbie.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
But again, so like obviously we've talked about whys, and we talk about like our personal relationships with finding our whys and whatnot. And we talk about how we've had like multiple whys, newfound whys, and, you know, how we've developed on that. But again, practicality of it, like, what would you say would be some of the negatives of like not having a why?
Not having a why. Again, I'm only going to speak from experience, but I feel like when I didn't have a why, or the why wasn't stronger, because I feel like we probably all do have whys, but it's just not strong. Like, there must be things that you think about that motivate you to move, because essentially what your why does, it makes you move when you don't want to move. That's how I kind of use my why. Whenever I'm feeling a bit, you know, demotivated, or, you know, I lack a bit of inspiration or whatever, I have to go to my whys, because my whys remind me of why I'm doing this. Yeah. So I feel like the negatives of not having a why is that you just live aimlessly. Again, you have kind of, I feel like we spoke about being selfish before, and 99% of the time, the word selfish is definitely a negative thing. But I feel like when you kind of don't have a why, you're being negative to maybe those around you. An example of what I mean by that is that, you know, if you have children, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, your children should be your why, right? So every day you just want to give them the best, you want to give them the best of you, whatever. But if you don't have that, then it's like purposeless.
But playing devil's advocate now, not that he needs any, what about, some people can say, okay, analogy, slight tangent, but again, in relation to what you said, a lot of people say that, especially in the sort of like the West African, West Indian community, we have a cultural responsibility to often take care of our parents once they get old, right? Standardly, and from a cultural perspective. But some may argue we weren't asked to be brought into this world. So why is it now my responsibility to take care of you? And contrasting that now, obviously, yes, you brought a child into the world, it's your responsibility to take care of them. But once that child now becomes of age and now becomes independent, like, is that still your why? What happens now when they've grown up and they now have their own family?
I think your children will always be your why, but I think the level of responsibility with the why now becomes a bit different. You know, like, all my children are you know, quite young, and I think up until a certain point, I am fully responsible. Like, I am fully going all out to make sure that you don't want for anything, right? But I think once you get to a certain age now, I need you to know that you now need to go and be an adult. You know, you need to now, like, grow on your own, off your own back. Like, daddy helped you get here, but now you need to do you and your thing. So I think at that point, obviously I'm not at that point, but thinking about it now, I think maybe my why would shift more to probably me and just what I want to do and making my whys around me. You know,
arguably, would you not say that's somewhat detrimental that your current why isn't for you or about you, and you're not giving yourself perhaps enough time to now give some time to yourself?
Yeah, no, I think it's big enough for me, because I feel like, you know, they're relying on me, and when you have like little humans relying on you, really, you shouldn't need any more motivation. Like, you shouldn't really need. If you do, then maybe question why you have kids or whatever. But in my opinion, that those little humans, they should be the ones getting you out of bed, or when you feel like giving up, no, I'm gonna keep going. Like, I listened to a soundbite years ago, and the guy, shout out to Eric Thomas, man, I love Eric Thomas, big motivational speaker in America, and he was like, he came out and he done a talk, and he was like, get your children to record a voice note saying, "Daddy, I need you. Daddy, I need you. Like, I need you to do the best you can do to help me be the best that I can be."
Yeah, that's deep.
That's deep stuff right there. So for me, it was kind of like, my children, you know, get up every day, look at pictures of them. I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need more motivation than my children. Do you know what I mean? So, no, in that regard, no. In regards to the importance, I suppose, if you kind of just flipped it on its head, again, it boils back down to, it gives you a bit of purpose.
Yeah.
And I feel like in life, if you don't have purpose, you don't have goals, you don't have aims, you don't have things that you want to achieve, what are you living for?
Literally.
You're just going through life with absolutely no sense of direction and just accepting what life has to give to you, as opposed to creating a life that you want. And we both have seen that you can create the life if you want. Is it easy? No. Are you going to fall down 100 times? As long as you get up that 101 time,
that's important.
It might be that one time you needed to get up that the door's open. Or it could be that one time you gave up and you missed the door opening. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, what about you, man? What do you think the negatives are of not having a why? Now you found your icky guy.
Yeah, definitely. Again, speaking explicitly from my personal experience, I think the negatives can't, or necessarily don't always appear to be as daunting, because I was in a state of, I thought I found my why, and I thought I found my purpose, and within reason, and whilst I was just kind of cruising, everything felt kind of good. On paper, I was like, quote unquote happy, but like deep down in my subconscious, I knew there was something lacking, right? I knew deep down there was something lacking. And whether I hit the next milestone of my business, or I acquired X amount, or I bought my house, I just still felt there was something lacking. I was like, surely there has to be some form of satisfaction that can calm me down. But I just kept on going, and I was straining myself, I was burning myself out, and I was working continuously, right? And like I said, I was in this sort of false reality of, La La Land, right? But I never took time to sort of sit down or to even conversate with someone else that's either done it, or just take time within my own thoughts and just kind of like meditate within myself to be like, what am I actually doing? Who am I doing it for? And why? You know what I mean?
Big one.
The big one.
A big W.
So for me, it's, again, it may not sound as detrimental right now, but sit down, understand what you're doing, who you're doing it for, and why. And if you have answers to all three of these questions and you can satisfy yourself, then you found your why.
Do you know what's funny? You said it's not detrimental now. It had me thinking that it's not detrimental until it's detrimental.
Yeah.
Until you're in your 40s, 50s thinking, wow, where did my life go? And you can't get them years back. And it's, I don't want to say too late, but time's running out.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's very difficult.
It's difficult.
Because you got loads of responsibilities now. Like, you've taken on this. And at 50, in my, again, opinion, I just want to be chilling out. I don't want to be running around like a madman in my 50s. Like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I like that. Just the detriment. Like, but it's glad that you've identified that now, right?
Yeah.
So in the next however long couple of years,
clear.
You know what I mean? Getting a private jet to the studio and that. We're not even in the studio, man. Shout out to the studio, man. We're in somewhere else. But yeah, anyway, cool.
No, but definitely. And I think the positive, again, sort of more recently, like, you're going to be so much more joyful. You're going to be so much more joyful, so much more enthusiastic. You're going to be so much more willing to wake up with more purpose, And we bang on a lot about purpose on this podcast, and we might sound like a broken record, but it's so important.
Bro, I think it's like the foundation of everything.
Literally. Like, without purpose, like, what is it? Like, there's no substance behind it. You know what I mean? So I feel like finding that purpose, that thing that gets you out of bed, your why, is essential for that motivation and for that forward growth for you as an individual, for your character development, for whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So I definitely think finding that purpose and that being the backbone and the foundation of everything you do in your life, like, you're nearly guaranteed success.
And you know what? Just to kind of add to that, while you was talking, I was thinking that the purpose is so important, because the purpose tells you what you should be doing on a daily. Do you get me? So if you set the purpose, I want to be, I don't know, a successful entrepreneur or business person. If you're not working on a business or learning about business or learning to elevate yourself or mind on a daily, you're never going to achieve that purpose. But because you don't have that purpose, you just kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
You just do whatever.
Literally.
You live whatever, do whatever, go to bed whenever. You have no real purpose. And I think the key is, once you figure out your purpose, something you're passionate about and want to achieve, life becomes a lot more fun.
Yeah.
A lot more exciting.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting out of bed thinking, oh my God, I got to do this today or I don't want to do today. Actually, I'm now, I've laid out the steps. I've laid out the things that I need to do. I've laid out the habits that I need to adopt to achieve this purpose. So, yeah.
No,
I'm going to add to that, man.
And just even further adding on to that, as well, let's be like very, very real. Yes, you may have purpose, but you still will have hard times.
100.
You still will have difficult times.
100.
You're not going to be always cheery 365, just rolling out of bed thinking, yes, I've got purpose. Yes, I've got my why. Like, that is also unrealistic. You will have difficult times. Your body and your mind will challenge you. But again, it's that purpose, that foundation, it's that re-emphasizes, you know, your why you still need to keep on going and push forward.
No, I said it at the podcast, even me, you know, I'm far from perfect. Those who know me know I'm not perfect. And I, you know, whilst I still do have a purpose, I still have bad days and slumps. Like I said, I was going through like a 3-week slump where I hadn't been to the gym for like 3 weeks. Yeah. Those who follow me on IG would have seen that I'm in the gym and I'm like, oh my God. But it's about, just identifying that you're in a slump and kind of just getting back in there. And so the purpose will remind you to do that. Definitely far from perfect, man.
No, 100%. We all are imperfect human beings. No, but that's good. I really like that. So obviously we've covered some of the positives and some of the negatives. But as you always know on the pod, we like some practical steps and suggestions. So what do you think is the first practical step that someone can take to finding their why?
Their why? Where does your why come from? I feel, that's a tricky one. Where does your why come from? I'll talk about where my why comes from and then maybe able to incorporate into a step. So I think your why needs to come from things that are important in your life. So maybe identifying things, people, that are important to you that you can turn into your why. And then you might look at, actually, that sounds like a step 2 maybe, Like the first step 1 for me would be think about things that are important in your life, that you appreciate, that you love, you value, you want the best for. It could be for you, you know, and maybe turn that into your why. So I think about, those things, man.
No, I really like that.
You?
I think my step in terms of finding my why, personally, obviously, I went for a mentor. I went to someone who obviously has done exactly what I want to do and has lived the life that I would like to have, right? And that's always like a fast track step. And, you know, sometimes obviously somebody's mentors you have to pay for, or if you're fortunate enough, you know, you have someone that's willing to, you know, maybe do a bit of charity and give you some free time. But in the instance where you can't do this, so this is kind of like a simultaneous first step, I would say be experimental. Try and taste different things, right? Experience different cultures. Speak to different people. There's a bus that will take you from South London to Surrey in 45 minutes, and you will experience different people. You will experience a different environment. You will understand a different culture. If you can't travel, go to networking events. You know, if you don't have the luxury of having like a diverse family and it's always got like encourage friends, speak to people at your gym, people that don't look like you, people that don't sound like you, experience and be experimental. Don't get stuck in your box. And I feel like if you're able to encourage a mentality of being experimental, especially obviously in your younger age, your younger years, or as and when you can, that will encourage you to open your breadth of opportunities to find your why and test and try as well. Because like we've both said, you know, our first whys or our whys at the time weren't our true whys, you know. And again, obviously, like you mentioned with your kids, you know, once they get to an age and your responsibility with them like slowly like reduces as they get more mature and they can take care of themselves, your why will change. So understand your why will change, and your why may be temperamental for that period in time in your life, and that's fine, right? Life changes. So definitely think for myself, either find someone who has done what you want to do and has lived the life or is living the life that you'd like to live, or experience and experiment with different cultures and people and broaden your horizon.
I like that. So is that your step 1 and 2? That sounded like a multi-step.
Yeah, it's a step 1, but like simultaneous, like an either or.
Okay.
An either or. I'm giving you guys options, man.
I like he's giving you options, guys.
Options,
cool.
Man.
My step 2 would be remind yourself every day of your whys. So for me, you know, there are days where, you know, we're in the same business, man. You just you wake up and you think, this business, do you know what I mean? I can't be bothered or whatever. But using the opportunity to remind me every day when I am in a slump, like I said earlier, that like, Daddy, I need you. Like seeing a picture of my kids, like that there makes me get up and remind me of my like responsibility, my duty of care to them. Like I need to become this person so they are good. So yeah, that would be my step 2. Just remind yourself of your whys every day.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to forget them sometimes because life
goes on.
And life is hard. It's very hard out here. You know, life is not easy, man. You know, inflation and petrol prices are going up. Like, it's not easy. Life is tough and life will kick you to the ground if you're not careful, you know. Yeah, so 100%. It's quite easy to forget, you know, the simple things. We're all under a bit of stress. Always. We're all under a bit of pressure. Like, no one lives a stress-free life. Yeah. You know, there's always something, you know, you always think to yourself, you know, who's it? Big, you said more money, more problems. A lot of people think when they get money, like, well, their problems are going to go away. Your money has just solved your money problems. But what about the other problems away from money? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
No, I like step that. 2. I feel like my step 2 is kind of on the same line of like remembering it. I think every single decision that you make, especially like a great decision, like, you know, there's always the joke like, what would Jesus do? Or I say joke, a lot of people say like, you know, what would Jesus do? So like, this decision I'm about to make, how is it in correlation with my why? You know, my purpose. Like, you know, let's take the example of, you know, your kids is like, you know, maybe like you're going to make this massive investment, or you want to buy this house, or you want to put this money to do here, or you want to move to this country or whatever. Like, this move I'm going to make, or this investment I'm going to make, how's it going to affect my why, which are my kids? Or for me, like wherever move I want to make, or the industry that I change in, how's it going to affect my why in terms of teaching people how to become financially free and create an asset for themselves? You know, so I think again, like on the, like definitely remembering like constantly, like every great decision you make, how is it in line with your why? You know?
I like that. No, that's good, man. I like that. My 3rd step, I'm going to be cheeky. I'm just going to call it rinse and repeat, because I feel like it's a cycle where you go through, you still might have your whys. I feel like life is very much up and down. So there's going to be days where you're kind of like up on a high, and but if you just keep repeating the steps over and over again, like you build up a bit of kind of, you might feel like slow progress, but you're making progress. So you've identified what's important to you. You remind yourself every day, and you just keep doing that. Day in, day out, and then you get to a place where you forget, start again.
Yeah.
Just get back on the bike. Yeah. I call it getting back on the bike. Like understanding that you've fallen off. It's normal to fall off. We all fall off from time to time. You know, life gets on top of you, but it's about remembering the principles, the core foundations of anything. And for me, yeah, in terms of your why, just 3rd step, rinse and repeat.
No, I like that. No, I really like that. And yeah, I'm pretty much on topic with that as well, in the sense of it's gonna be hard. Like we alluded to, like just because you have a purpose and you found your why doesn't make your life any easier.
Doesn't make it easier to.
You have clarity, but now you need to action it.
You have the grit, have the perseverance,
and the determination, and the discipline. You know what I mean? So, and funny enough, again, with all the last episodes that we filmed, you've got to have the consistency. You've got to make sure that your goals are set. You've got to have a growth mindset. And you've also got to make sure that, what was the other episode?
Number 5 was you're loving yourself.
Loving yourself. You've also got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your self-care.
On this journey of life.
You know what I mean? So it's a journey. You know what I mean? And once you get to your destination, your why may change, or you might continue on. So yeah, I think, you know, I like that.
Yeah, that was strong.
I like that, man. That was a powerful episode. I really like that, man.
Good. You pulled that one out of the bag. I like that. I like it. Cool. All right, guys. One of my favorite parts of the show is Plug Bites. So this is where myself and Freeman think about something that kind of inspired us, motivated us. Really, I like using the word resonate, because I feel like when something resonates, it's like, it's got me. So resonated with you, made you want to tell someone else, share it in, you know, one of your friends' DMs on IG or whatever it might be. It just really touched a nerve, and you just felt that was powerful. I want to share that with the world. So we want to share it with the world. We want to share it with you. So I'll let you go first.
Cool. Cool. So my plug bite for today's app, it says, I want to make it PG as well. Focus on yourself. What the hell does someone else's life have to do with you? That's by Gary Vee. And Gary Vee's a G, you know? And I think as well, on topic of, you know, what is your why? Speaking from personal experience, I just sort of thought, again, focusing on vanity metrics. I'm like, this guy's like 22 years old, 21 years old. He's bought this house. He's printing money. He's doing this. Like, I should be doing this. I should have this, etc., etc. I'm just like, again, like you always say, sort of comparing someone else's step 10 with my step 2.
Yeah, never
so
do that.
Focus on yourself.
100%.
This is your own personal journey, like you said. This is your own personal journey. So focus on yourself. Give yourself the time and attention you need to do to get on your journey at your own pace, at your own time. You know, there are like celebrities like, you know, like George Clooney, who didn't get the first breaks until like they were like in the mid-40s.
Yeah, late, very, very late.
You see what I'm saying? So like, focus on your own journey. Forget all the noise, tunnel vision, lock in and focus. This is only for yourself. You were brought into this world by yourself and you will leave by yourself.
Amen.
So focus.
Love that.
You know, and
Love
that's my
that.
little...
Yeah. You came strong.
You know what I mean?
I know the last episode I got you. I know I got you. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to beat that, but I'll find a way. This one is from John C. Maxwell, bad boy. I read a lot of his books. He's the leadership guru. If you ever want to learn about leadership and leading teams and inspiring people and just elevating in life, John C. Maxwell, top author, man. I've got quite a few of his books. But on the topic of why, are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Find your why and you'll find your way.
It's not a competition, man. At least let me have one.
I don't even think I should repeat that. I know we normally repeat for the people in the back.
Yeah.
But because we love you here, I'll repeat it.
Go on.
I'll repeat it one more time, like you said, for the people in the back. Find your why and you'll find your way. For me, it's like what we always talk about. I think when you don't have purpose, you're lost. You're just going every day. I spoke about in episode 1, like just Groundhog Day, every day, same day. Like it's like, yeah, you're just a hamster on a wheel because you have no purpose, you have no why, you have no goals. So life just drags you along. You know, you're on the bus of just life. But I feel like it gets to a point where you need to kind of jump off now and do the things that you need to do for you, not because society told you to do them or not because your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever told you to do it or your nan or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're doing life on your terms now. I'm going to do for me what's needed. And a lot of people don't have that. So they're lost. You know, they have no North Star. So for me, once you find that why, you'll find your way.
And on that note,
mic drop.
And that's it, folks. No, that was really good, man. That was really deep.
Like that.
Yeah. I think the people find a lot of value. Yeah. I think, we were really transparent. Like you guys always asked us to be transparent and be vulnerable and authentic.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, bro, I know you guys can go another level.
You know
I'm like, bro, like give us some time.
You know what I mean? It's an onion. We're peeling off layers.
Yeah.
We're peeling off layers.
We can't give you too much sauce too quickly. Do you know what I mean? We want to reel you in slowly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, thank you again. As always, like we always say at the end of each video, like, share, subscribe, show us some love if you're feeling what we're talking about and you want to hear more. Like I said, guys, it really helps. It kind of inspires us, gives us that extra motivation that we need to just come with fire. And, you know, we think about these topics. We think about what we want to talk about. We don't just pluck things out of the sky. We think about things that are hard-hitting, things that people might want to hear, things that will ultimately change people's lives. We're out here trying to help change lives, right? So globally, man, that's what we're all about, man. So on that note, my boy.
Love people.
Love.
Always subscribe, like, and share. Peace.
Elevate.